Good morning, wild-hearted beings. It's practice time. Ooh, I don't look like my hair's really done, do I? I've got looks like I've got bad hair. I swear I did like something about it. But anyway, we're not here to look at my hair. We're here to practice. My cat's here to practice. Basil's here to practice, which is nice. Excuse me, Basil. So, the intention of this practice each week is actually just for me to share my practice, and you're welcome to join in. I'd love for you to join in. So I hope that doesn't sound like a bad invitation, but it's not for me to say what practice you need. Maybe you've already got your own practice. Maybe you don't want to do the types of meditation that I do, but maybe the intention is really just to um, remind people to practice, but also to just talk a little bit about practice because it's like practice can be hard, and it can be hard to do every day or whatever our intention is. I was going to fix this, sorry. And so it's good to talk about it because there are problems when we come to do practice. Maybe it's just me. But honestly, getting myself to do a daily practice has been one of the most life-changing things in my life. But it wasn't easy to do that. It was easy to do it because I started doing it during the pandemic. I was like, wow, suddenly I've got this time. Because I was lucky, I was really lucky to have that time. Other people didn't have that experience, but that gave me the time, and I was like, oh, been wanting to work from home for years, grateful that I could, and now let's use that time. So I did, and I'm like, you know what? I always wanted to actually meditate more and more. So I did, and that got me going, and I did stay with it, which was great. I found ways to stay with it and devote myself to it finally. But really, that wasn't stopping me. I could have done the practice sooner, but maybe it wasn't my time. Because one of the things we need the most, I've found, is to have a really compelling reason. And the reason is compelling enough. I don't mean it's like, oh, it's like life or death, but it's just there's something there that really grabs us, and we honor that thing. And it's like, actually, I want to do it because I want to, while I'm here on this planet, I want to experience what I can through spiritual practice. I want to open myself maybe as a human, or I want to experience what other spiritual practitioners have talked about. While I'm here on this planet, and maybe be a kinder human or something like that, you know. Where was I going with this? So anyway, the point I wanted to really talk about was this week, my practice has been disrupted. And that's really important to talk about because our practice will get disrupted. And it's important to remember that and be okay with that because it's inevitable, because it's just life. And so yeah, my practice got disrupted this week. It was partly because on the weekend I went to the Pride March in Melbourne and I was tired. But I also had some emotional ups and downs that kind of threw things out. So that's normal. And the way that I deal with it is that I do some practice every day. And I don't have to really, because I've been doing it so much, I don't have to actually force myself to do that. I actually am looking for it already. I'm like, whoop, I woke up, I need to do something. And that's from years of doing it. And it's not a habit anymore. It's actually just part of my life. And if I don't even want to think about not doing it, you see. So that's the point. I think that is ideal to get to, I think, is if you can get to the point where the spiritual practice feeds us so much. Oh, it's like eating, and we want to eat every day, otherwise we're in trouble. So we need also want to do our spiritual practice because we know, well, if I don't do that, I might be in trouble. And that is what happens. But anyway, so I did do some practice, and it was hard at times. It was hard, but I still did it. It doesn't mean I pushed myself to do it. I just did some practice. I had some awareness of my practice, and I practice through the day, of course. Like I bring that practice into my day because that's where it really needs to go, is into my day, is to get the benefits of whatever our practice is and take that into our day. Cool. All right, talked enough. So the intention of this is to, actually, above all, it's actually to promote world peace. Because by doing our spiritual practice and understanding ourselves and how we work and what the nature of our mind is, the nature of our inner world, by fostering our listening and all of that, we actually do promote world peace. If everybody did that, we'd live in a totally different world. So that's what I think. All right, we better start because I've been talking for like 7 minutes. Excuse me. So first of all, I'm just going to do 3 practices, which you can follow me in if you want. They'll be about 15 minutes each. Excuse me. So the first one will be just sitting. So shikantaza, which is just sitting precisely so, which is one of the Zen practices. So for that, I'm just going to hit this timer. Okay, so these are going to go for 15 minutes. If you want to follow me, you can. This practice, you can sit with the cosmic mudra, and I'm like sitting with a meditation stool, which is really good. But you really whatever you're doing, if you're doing a meditation seated practice or whatever, you want to be in a dynamic posture. Like you don't want to be in a slouch or like tight, but you want to be, kind of a dynamic posture that's like erect and with the head kind of. And this is all based on my physicality. I'm not sure what's possible for you. So, but I like to pull my head towards the throat, stretch the back of the neck, and lift the head up. Imagining there's a string pulling me up. And then just relax into kind of the halfway point. The nice curve in the spine. And through the practice, it's good to check our posture and come back to our posture. It's part of paying attention in practice. Roll the shoulders back. I like to do that. And just sigh out any tension. with a nice deep breath. If you notice me, I might shake and stop from time to time because my body just needs to do that. Okay, so the Cosmic Mudra is the dominant hand. It might actually be the right hand. The left hand on top, just right resting, and then the thumbnail and the other thumbnail, and just resting just around like belly level. I think some people probably rest it down here, but the way I've seen it done is like this. And then you just let the eyes be downcast and just let the focus kind of relax. And that's it. So we're just sitting. It can be one of the hardest things we do in life is just sitting in ourself. The breath might be tense, might be calm. We want it to let it come down into the belly as much as possible, and we'll do that naturally. The more we sit, my breath was actually up here for a long time. I didn't realize. So eventually, through training, I brought my breath down here. You might feel tension here. If you, depending on what you do through the week, that's okay. And all sorts of things might come into the mind. So just be with them, but don't get caught up in them. But if you do, it's okay. Just notice yourself noticing, notice yourself getting caught up, notice yourself noticing yourself get caught up. Just keep noticing. That's enough. Okay, so the next practice that I'm going to do is called Joshin Kokyoro, which is from the Japanese system of Reiki. It has roots in esoteric Buddhism or tantric Buddhism. So for this, we're starting with the idea of the lower dantian, the hara, or the tanden, whatever we want to call it, the lower cauldron, this energy center that is just below the navel, in the gut. It's a really important energy center in Taoist cosmology. There are these main three energy centers: the lower dantian, the middle dantian, and the upper dantian. So I don't work with the chakras. So in our lower dantian is like our earth, our yin. It's actually the center of power that martial artists will draw their strength from, a center of balance. So what we do in this meditation is we breathe in the energy of the universe that surrounds us. We breathe that in to the lower dantian in a nice belly breath. Imagine that we're breathing that energy into our lower dantian. And then on the out breath, we're just breathing that energy out in every direction, in an ever expanding sphere into the universe, sending the light of our consciousness all through the universe. And that's all. And you will get distracted during this meditation. So, because you're a human, all humans get distracted. So if you do get distracted while you're breathing in and then breathing the energy out, just notice that you're distracted. And when you notice you're distracted, that's really good, because you've done a lot of the work of meditation. Because then once you've noticed, you just bring your awareness back to the same practice, just again and again. Okay. Joshin Kokyoro. So now I'm going to move to the second part of this practice, called Seishin Tuitsu. So we do Joshin Kokuho and then Seishin Tuitsu. Excuse me. And in Seishin Tuitsu, we're breathing the energy of the universe down through the tips of our fingers into the lower dantian, hara, and then back out again on the out breath. And you don't need to worry about where the energy is going, how it's doing that. Just know that it's traveling. It's traveling where it needs to. And also, you need to pat your cat. That's another part of Seishin Tuitsu.
If you if you joined in to this later, I hope you enjoyed your practice, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. And I hope you know that you're let me think. Let me say this. You are the universe. Excuse me. You are the universe, and you might not realize it, or you might, but you have access to resources that are far greater than we're told, and that means you're fundamentally awesome. And through our practice, we can come to realize how awesome we are. I don't mean in like an egotistical way, just in like the way a mountain is awesome, or the ocean, or a tree. We too are awesome. Thanks for joining. Bye.